Hello, this is Rebecca Maholland with an author-illustrator presentation over Tommy DePaula. Reading is important because if you can read, you can learn anything about everything and everything about anything. That's a quote from Tommy DePaula. He was born September 25th in 1934 in Meriden, Connecticut. Tommy DePaula fell in love with books at a very young age. His mother read to him a lot, and he enjoyed listening to her read, and he would illustrate as she read. He knew he wanted to be an author illustrator by the age of 4. At the age of 10, he wrote his sister a book called Glimmera, the story of a mermaid. He holds degrees from Pratt Institute, where he received a Bachelor of Fine Arts, which is in Brooklyn, New York, and he has an MFA from College of Arts and Crafts in Oakland, California. He now lives in New London, New Hampshire. There's a great website that is tommy.com. So it's www.tommy.com with a list of all of his works, which are many. So I didn't try to list them all. I put a few book covers up here of some of his books. There is Stregonona. There is Pancakes for Breakfast, the Popcorn Book, and the Art Lesson. Tommy DePaula is credited with illustrating 266 books, writing 142, and writing and illustrating 140 books. So again, you can go to his website for a complete list of those books. I did list some. That's why this says incomplete bibliography of Tommy DePaula's books. There are too many to list, but I picked some because I wanted to demonstrate that he really just never stopped working. He published his first book at the age of 30. Remember, he was born in 43. And he just kept working through the 70s, through the 80s, 90s, in 2000, and he's still going. 2013, Stregonona does it again. So he just keeps working. DePaula has his dream studio in a 200-year-old barn that's been renovated, and that's where he lives. His favorite color is white, so he has a massive studio with lots of cubbies, and he has colors all over the wall. He has dabbled in several mediums, but prefers acrylics because they're versatile and they're lasting. They don't fade. But he has developed methods to make acrylics opaque and kind of make them work like watercolor. And so that's his, but he has used in the past, he's used pencils, colored pencils, markers, and watercolor, but he enjoys acrylic. His sources of inspiration for writing include fine art. He loves to go to art galleries. Some of his favorite artists are Matisse. His theatrical background has served as an inspiration to him, his own memories from his childhood, his Italian grandmother, and folk tales. A picture book is a small door to the enormous world of visual arts, and they're often the first art a young person sees. And I have down here his signature. And I just put a few examples of some of his artwork. And one thing that he is known for is his clean lines. He's very expressive with few lines. So as you can see, I think most of these demonstrate that. Interesting facts about him. DePaula published his first book at 30. Before that, he worked as a greeting card designer, a set designer. He taught classes. So he did a variety of things. DePaula has received 8 honorary doctoral degrees. His favorite color is white. At the age of 10, he wrote a book for his sister, which I already mentioned. DePaula has sold more than 15 million copies worldwide. He is a self-proclaimed doodler and usually has pen and paper with him wherever he goes. A fourth grade girl, wrote him a letter begging him to write a chapter book, which prompted him to write 26 Fairmount Street. His favorite food is popcorn. His favorite holiday is Christmas. He has no wife or children, but has been an owner of dogs and cats throughout his life. And I just tacked on these because there are some great materials for teachers. There's Teaching with Tommy DePaula books. There are at least 4 of them. And then this Teaching with Favorite Books, Tommy DePaula. And I am here is a list of references. I pulled many things off of the internet. I will say there are a few articles from Publishers Weekly, and there is a book written about Tommy DePaula. It's called Tommy DePaula, His Art and His Stories by Barbara Elliman. And Also, there are tons of YouTube videos, interviews with NPR, interviews on television. So there's a lot of stuff to pull up. So now you're going to hear the story of, Stage Struck. You might not see much of my face as I read this, or I'll try to do my best to get the illustrations in. Oh, gotta go the right way. My goodness, I'm not good at this. Girls and boys, Miss Bird said, I have some wonderful news for you. I'm trying to figure this out. I apologize. I'm not good at this. I don't know how to get the picture in the book. Girls and boys, Miss Bird said, I have some wonderful news. Our kindergarten class is going to put on the spring play for the whole school. We are going to do Peter Rabbit. There's the picture. This could take a while since I can't figure this out. Peter Rabbit. Tommy could hardly sit still. He knew all about Peter Rabbit. His mom had read the story to him lots of times. Tommy whispered loudly to his best friend Jeannie, I hope I get to play the part of Peter. Tommy, Miss Bird said, please, no talking. Tommy tried to pay attention. He really wanted Miss Bird to pick him to play Peter. After all, he had played the pilgrim John Alden in the Thanksgiving play. He'd remembered all his lines, and the teachers had said he was very good. That wasn't all. He had been taking tap lessons at Miss Leah's dancing school since September. Every Saturday morning, he took the beginner's class with 4 girls and 1 other boy. Miss Leah taught them to do up, back, down, slap, slap, up, back, down, down, down. It was so much fun. At the end of each lesson, everyone took a bow as if they were on stage. Tommy always looked at Miss Leah, smiled, and then bowed just the way Miss Leah had shown them. Tommy, you have a wonderful stage presence, Miss Leah said. Tommy knew that meant he looked happy on stage. So Tommy was thinking about how Miss Bird would probably ask him to play Peter and how it would feel to be on the stage with everyone watching him when he heard Miss Bird talking. Tommy, I asked you to get out your book. You really must pay attention. On the way home, Tommy asked Jeannie if she knew who she wanted to be in the play. No, Jeannie said, I could never remember all the words. I'd be too nervous. Jeannie, you could be the mouse with the peas in her mouth. Peter asks her how to get out of Mr. McGregor's garden. All he hears her say is mumble, 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 because her mouth is full of peas. I'll show you how to do it. Tommy puffed out his cheeks and mumbled, Jeannie laughed. That's really funny, Tommy. Then she puffed out her cheeks and went, Jeannie, you make a great mouse, Tommy told her. I hope I'm getting some of those pictures in there. The next day, Miss Bird said, put your chairs in a circle. I'm going to give out the parts for Peter Rabbit. Tommy whispered loudly to Jeannie, now when Miss Bird asks who will like to play the mouse, Tommy. There you go, talking again, Miss Bird said. Since you cannot pay attention, you will not play Peter Rabbit. You will play Mopsy. But Mopsy is a girl bunny, Tommy said. Not in our play, Miss Bird told him. Miss Bird gave the part of Peter Rabbit to Johnny. Jeannie got to be the mouse. At least you get to say mumble, 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 Tommy whispered to Jeannie. The rabbits don't have any lines at all. We just have to stand there. That night, before he went to sleep, Tommy remembered something Miss Leah had said in dance class. When you are on stage with other people, look at them and react. That means that if they do something funny, laugh. If they are unhappy, look sad. Don't just stand there. That's what I'll do, Tommy thought. Whenever Peter does something, Mopsy will react to it. Tommy decided to wait until the performance to react. He would surprise everyone. All during rehearsals, Tommy did exactly what Miss Bird told Mopsy, Flopsy, and Cottontail to do. The day of the play arrived. All the classes filed in and sat down. The parents of the kindergarten class were there too. Miss Burke, the principal, came up on the stage. Girls and boys, may I present the tale of Peter Rabbit. Everyone clapped, and the play began. Peter, the bad little bunny, sneaked into Mr. McGregor's garden where he was not supposed to be. Mopsy began to react. Mopsy followed Peter with his eyes. Every time Peter did something, Mopsy react. Everyone was laughing at Mopsy. Jack played Mr. McGregor. He was good and scary. Jean M. was Mama Rabbit. She was very good too. Jeannie was perfect as a mouse with peas in her mouth. Johnny did a nice job as Peter, but Mopsy stole the show. Then the play was over. The girls and boys each took a bow and the audience clapped. But when Tommy took his bow, the audience clapped and shouted. Some of the sixth grader boys even whistled. Someone yelled, "Bravo!" Tommy was so proud. He looked over at his mom and waved. She waved back. Miss Mulligan, the fifth grade teacher, smiled at him and said, "Well, Tommy, you're quite a ham." "Thank you, girls and boys," Miss Bird told the class. "That was very good." Miss Bird didn't say anything special to Tommy. Maybe she was sorry she hadn't picked him to play Peter. Mom was waiting for Tommy when he came outside with Jeannie. "Jeannie," Mom said, "you were a very good mouse. Tommy showed me how to do it. He should have been Peter," Jeannie said. On the way home, Mom said, "Well, Tommy, that wasn't very nice of you to steal the show. You were not the star. Peter Rabbit was the star. You were only one of the bunnies. Tomorrow, I want you to tell Johnny you are sorry, and Miss Bird too, okay?" Tommy nodded. He started to think that maybe he had made Johnny feel bad and maybe Miss Bird didn't like him being a ham the way Miss Mulligan did. The next day, Tommy went up to Miss Bird before school and told her he was sorry. At recess, he told Johnny he was sorry too. Sorry. But when Tommy was by himself, he could hear everyone laughing at Mopsy. He could hear all the clapping when he looked out at the audience and bowed. He could hardly wait to be on stage again. So hard for me to figure this out. He was stage struck. And that is Stage Struck by Tommy DePaola. So my last slide is my interactive activity. I think this is appropriate for age third grade. The teacher would read a couple selections of Tommy DePaola books to the children, and then we would have a discussion about his style in illustrating and his influences as an author, and then maybe a short PowerPoint presentation with a brief biography. And on his website, he has 20 fun facts about himself. It's been said that he's very fun-loving and loves to be around children, and he's energetic. So he has shared a lot of fun facts about himself. And then there's a short YouTube clip that's less than 10 minutes. I put the link on this page. That's really nice. He's very inspiring to kids. It shows him illustrating, and it shows him looking at a bunch of pictures that children have done. So then after that, I would have students draw a picture. I would require them to try different mediums: crayon, colored pencil, pencil and marker. These are all things that I would supply to them. The picture could be an illustration of one of his books, and then something that inspires them, or a self-portrait. And then the students would present their artwork to their peers, and then I would display them. The teacher would display them in the bulletin board. I failed to put this last item on here, I just realized, but after that we would do a reflection paper, probably with, maybe just about, well, I actually wouldn't, I apologize, that's incorrect. I was thinking I was doing a project over Stage Struck, but we would just present our pictures and display them. And that is Tommy DePaola in a nutshell. He is a very well-known and well-rounded artist and has had much success. And there's plenty of literature out there about them, and he has written many books that are inspiring and are wonderful stories for children. Thank you.